And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host, Ray. With me as always, we got D Wolf.
Greetings.
Also, we have Crystal in the house.
Hola.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Grand.
All right. So with without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the topic. And I would like to ask y'all, what is y'all definition of corny?
I guess for me is, does it have to be like the opposite sex, or it could just be
It could be anything.
anything? All right. Well, the
Yeah.
definition for me for corny is a person that's always trying to fit in.
Hmm.
That's my definition. I don't know about anybody else.
That's your definition. You are all right to have that definition. D Wolf, what about you?
Uh, I don't know. I figures whatever doesn't really move the needle for you. You consider that corny.
That's it. Okay. Obviously, like I guess that answer is kind of open ended or subjective because usually anything you really doesn't really like is corny. So would y'all consider someone like a Michael B. Jordan corny?
I would say hell no.
I don't know how he is in real life, but I'll guess no.
Okay. Have y'all seen like the interview he did with this I guess she used to be a rapper, but I guess she's just a radio personality like L'Oreal. Have y'all seen that shit that's been going about? Like
Yeah.
At the at some carpet event.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay,
But,
good. So I ain't got
it was a train wreck.
yeah, so I ain't gotta play the video so y'all know. So obviously, but for those who don't know, obviously, um he was Michael B. Jordan was interviewed by someone he went to high school with, and I thought he had a great response. It was like a good little snapback. It's just like, in the words of Mike Jones, back then they didn't want me. Now hot they all on me. When she tried to play the "We Go Back," he was like, "Oh, the corny guy." And
Mhm.
just like things, these are one of the things that I don't expect to be like popping off like that, but it really did. To where a lot of people had opinions about it. And then you even had Joe Button calling Michael B. Jordan, calling him corny because the way he responded. And this it's been like the talk of the week. So I wanted y'all opinion. How do y'all feel about that, and the whole thing that's around that?
Um, at first I thought he was wrong for bringing that up, but then I said to myself, the fact that he had to address it and she didn't come forth, like she tried to act like everything was cool. She didn't even remember what she did. That's what made it worse. Um, I think she was trying to avoid the situation altogether. But the fact that he addressed it, she did not like address the fact that she was wrong. She only addressed it towards the end. And even then, she did not apologize. Then, to top things off, in between him still, being man enough to stay and give the interview, even though he could have been like, fuck off, I think he handled himself pretty well and he was not petty at all. But the fact that she tried to get, I'm probably going to say his name wrong, so bear with me. Idris or Idris?
Idris.
Idris. Oh my God, I'm way off.
No,
Anyway,
it like
she was
Idris.
trying to compare the
Idris.
two of them. She was trying to compare Idris and Michael B. Jordan, like who looks the best. Why would you do that? Why would you try to be like, and then they had to like big up each other, which congratulations to them too, a pat on your back, because we don't need that kind of negativity. Like you still trying to compare people, and then even when it just got worse and worse and worse, and she even tried to save herself at the end, like just let it go. I would be too shamed, like if I out of the blue called a guy corny and then want to do an interview, I don't feel like I'm entitled to interview him. Like I'll act like I didn't see him. I'll get penalized at work. I don't give a fuck because at the end of the day, it's kind of like I could see myself being in that situation. I'm not bold enough to now continuously try to get an interview out of him. I think that was trifling on her end.
Damn. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Well, what you think about D Wolf?
Um, I think it's a equivalent exchange. Like, even though it took years later, like she's, because he probably had to deal with that shit all the time. Then he probably has that playing in his head over and over as he's pushing himself to be, top of his game and shit because that's ringing in his head. So probably this is like the opportunity, like, no, you're gonna hear about this because look at me now. You have to interview me. Ha. You're lucky. And you feel lucky. You didn't back then. So I think that was needed. Because like sometimes you need that, yo. I wasn't mad at
You
it.
know, I wasn't mad at it either. When I first saw that, like I said, the Mike Jones to pop up in my head, like the back then they didn't want me, now hot they all on me. You know what's sad because it's like during that time he was in high school, he was in The Wire, so it's like so he was already on TV, and it's funny because he was like even when she was when she was talking about it, he was talking about like how people made fun of him because he had the name Michael Jordan and used to keep headshots on him, and everybody looked at him and was just like, "Bro, what are you doing?" So it's just like I think a lot of people looked at it as just like, how can you make fun of a man achieving a dream or wanting a dream and had a plan to stick it to it? And now that it's coming to fruition, it makes all y'all look stupid. So I don't blame him for holding that because I'm pretty sure that's what drove him to like prove people wrong. And finally, when he gets the chance to have that, oh yeah, let him have it. Because I'm pretty sure if anybody else was in that situation, they'd have done the same thing. It reminded me of that Martin episode where he was just like going back to his high school reunion, and he was trying to show up on everybody, and just like he was just being petty. It was like I
Mm-hmm.
think it was like although it was like petty, it was that good type of petty. It's just like you was wrong, and like I told y'all that I can make something of myself. So I like that. I also didn't like the fact that Joe Budden tried to call him out for being corny, and this was the same dude that reportedly hit women, and like
Hmm.
he sat on Esther Baxter's chest or some shit like that, and like he has a history of being like unpredictable and like very abusive himself, and then he
Damn.
called that corny, and then I didn't like how also to well this is just me. I hate the way some people use corny, and it's one of those things where they use it for people that do the right thing, obey the law and all that. So I hate that people kind of use that as a they look at him as corny, and why couldn't he just be an upstanding citizen? So
That's a good point.
it's one, yeah, because a lot of people when I don't like the I don't know if I told you this, I don't like the term square, and I don't like the term corny when talking about like people who like do right in the world. They just go to do their job, minding business. It's like a lot of people can have gangster and gangster sound cool, but when you talk about a regular guy who do regular things, he's a square or you're a cornball or like something along that lines. It's just like, and you wonder why people like more or less tries to mimic gangster shit. Because if you make like doing, because I feel like not everybody does this, but there are people in our society that make gangster shit look cool. And this is coming from a man that listens to gangster rap, but I know for a fact that none of that shit is like really really fucking cool. So like I knew better, but like we don't ever promote the people that do the right thing, you know do like the
No.
Michael B. Jordans or the people that do good in society. It's always like we promote the wrong people. But that's just
Mm-hmm.
me. What do y'all think?
Well, last thing I would have to say about this topic is that for for Joe Budden or Biden or whatever the fuck his name is, to say anything about to say anything about this situation with Michael B. Jordan is on some bullshit only because he's had beef with Nicki Minaj, a whole female rapper. Okay, and to top it off, he was, including himself in uh, the motorsport situation with Cardi. Like Cardi and Nicki deal with that. It was no need for you to input yourself and talk about how she was lying about the origins. Like, he's putting himself in women's business. So for you now to look at Michael B. Jordan and be like, oh, this and that, Negro, you are having your popcorn and eating and looking at a whole female, you know, situation and inputting yourself. Who are you to talk about what Michael B. Jordan did? If anything, he handled it with the most in the most respectful way that a celebrity can, without being deemed as a demon and all of this shit. Because now, what if he did walk away and told the girl to fuck off or look at her a certain way? Then what? Then we wouldn't know the history behind it. And then if it came out, he's like, I did this because of this, this, and that. They'll now say, oh, she just wasn't giving it up and all of this stuff, not knowing the full story or not giving a fuck about the full story. So I don't really know why he's even talking about this. He just want to stay relevant as far as I'm concerned.
You talking about Joe Button?
Yep. And the whole corny thing. So
He's
first
corny.
off,
The fuck? Sorry.
I was about to. Well, it's all right. I was going to say Dion into the chat. What up, Dion?
None.
So, I'm okay. I'm gonna ask you just like I asked everybody else. What's your definition of corny?
Just anything someone does that's just like you. What's just basically anything where you're stooping to like some form of low point for whatever attention or brownie points or whatever. Like it's hard to give like an exact like definition.
You can say it in your own words. You don't have to get the exact definition. It's like, what does it mean to you?
See, I'm trying to find a way to say it because I know people are going to hear this. I'm trying to find a way to say it without freaking getting your channel in any trouble. That's the difficult part for me. You know how I am. No, not well. If it were my own channel, then yes. But I'm not going to let my words put his channel at risk. You know?
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Dion. I really do.
But just
sorry, go ahead.
Just okay, to define someone or something is corny. Again, it's just again, desperate for attention, desperate for recognition. Undeserved recognition at that.
I don't think I've ever called anyone corny. It's usually like probably an event or a thing. Something I've watched. Experience, but never a person.
Me, there are corny people in the world. There, people and things can be corny. Hell, places can be corny.
Yeah,
I know. I just never said it. I've never done it.
Yeah. The reason why I asked that because I know everybody got their own definition. Because, like I said, it is subjective, and I just went on. Obviously, you, Mr. D. I just went on a spill that I hate that the term corny is used against like upstanding citizens and people that do the right thing. It should be used on something that like people should actually really think is corny, especially like not doing for one's community and some shit
Oh,
like that. But
yeah, how they try to use corny as a way to just downgrade anything positive.
yeah, like um, like the whole thing about they call Michael B. Jordan corny. Obviously, you seen that interview, right? Because I ain't got. Oh
No, but I heard bits and pieces. I don't know the full story, but I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say this because people have been trying to say shit about Michael B. Jordan for some years now, particularly when the first Black Panther movie came out. Was I'm guessing I'm guessing at the time he was dating some white girl or something like that, and people were talking shit about him then.
Nah, he was on a boat party, and it was like boat party was a bunch of white girls, but they didn't know he was in fucking Italy. So
Oh, see, again, y'all know I don't pay attention to celebrity gossip and bullshit like that. And that's the exact reason why you're down in this. You're calling this man out his name for what? For a situation where you yourself don't even know the full fucking story. Shut up. And what was the interview about or whatever, or what was the question or what was said that all now people are trying to call him corny? Does it have something to do with Did it have something to do with the fact that he was dating Steve Harvey's daughter at one point and how that situation went? That's the
no,
one thing. Yeah, because that's the one thing pertaining to Michael B. Jordan that I know actual details on. Outside of that, I don't. And the only reason I know as much as I know about that situation is because motherfuckers would not shut up about the shit.
the whole thing came from it was on the set. I think it was a movie premiere pre-3, and one
Yeah.
of the interviewers they went to high school with each other, and long story
Uh,
short, people called him corny because he was like had his headshots and they made fun of his name like you ain't the real Michael Jordan and all that stuff. Things like that.
hey, you know what? Honestly, this isn't even worth discussing. I mean, he has a, I guess, not even a weird name, just a familiar name.
How many Michael Jordans do you know?
Hmm.
There
I only know two. I
are, as
only know
far as
three.
I'm concerned, there are three that I can think of off the top of my head. The actor who we're talking about now, obviously the basketball player, and the one who owns all the prisons and shit. But
And
nah,
that's
different
all I
story.
know. And that's all I know as well. And I think that guy that was in that ESPN commercial where his real name was Michael Jordan, and
Yeah,
I know that was based on that.
I remember. I remember this funny. There's one funny clip. When Michael B. Jordan was on the show Ridiculousness, because him and CeeLo from Ridiculousness were apparently best friends at one point. Probably still are. I don't know, but I know they were roommates. And whenever whenever he would order food, somebody would crack a joke. Let me guess, you're in house or apartment 23, aren't you? But for all the jokes and shit, that man is worth how much now?
It was a couple million, so
I mean, is he in position to really give a fuck about what anyone has to say about him?
Yeah, you know, it was
Because
the
if it's me, I'm just like you can talk all this shit you want. I'm worth X amount of millions of dollars. You're still working a 9 to 5. Fuck you.
I
Like
mean, he didn't. I mean, obviously, he didn't respond back. I felt like I said it was justified for what he did. So I'm pretty sure he left it there. But you know, the shit rides on his own. Father done into the chat. What's going on, Father?
Yeah, I apologize for being late. You know what I'm saying? What we here?
It's all right. Let me ask you a question that I done asked everybody. What is your definition of corny?
Let me see if I can put it into words. Somebody who's just physically like uncomfortable to be around. That's my definition of corny. It's like it's cringy. It makes you react physically. It gives you like the heebie-jeebies.
So let's say a tall, skinny brother that be yelling out corn all the
wait,
I can't finish it. I can't finish it.
wait.
I can't finish it.
Is there a story behind this next statement? Because
I'm pretty I think you know him, Dion, because he went to AI.
who are you referring to exactly? Because no, anytime you
Tall,
say something like that, there's a fucked up story behind it.
tall, skinny brother, big nose, like Squidward nose, Christian as hell.
he looked like Squidward's house, bro.
Yeah, father always
Stop,
refers to him as Squidward's
stop it,
house.
stop it. And now that you said that, I think I know who you're referring to. I
Yeah,
just never knew him by name. Oh shit. I never
it
knew.
start,
I
it start,
I know who
it,
you're talking about. I know who you're talking
yeah,
about. I just never knew his name, but the image just came back in my head.
yeah. The boy yelled corn one time, and I just
Oh shit.
but
corn.
uh, oh man, so, uh, Father, do you have anything to say about the whole Michael B. Jordan and him clapping back and people calling him corny and all that? Do you have anything to say about that?
Honestly, I don't, because Michael B. Jordan is a grown ass man. Like, I don't think the word corny would ever face him in any stretch of the imagination. This nigga just got his name in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, bro, like,
And
you can
it,
call him corny all you want to, but you know that money in his pocket ain't corny, my nigga.
hey, I just said the same thing. Something else to think about. Like, do you? That is a huge honor if you're on the Hollywood Walk of Fame to be featured there. It's motherfuckers who have been acting and performing the shit for fucking decades who don't have a spot on there.
Yeah, like, bro, like at the very end of the day, the type of example that he's setting in the roles that he's, playing, that's what really matters. I don't give a fuck about the nigga if he wants to like date outside his race or like if he catches himself in low situations. Like, bro, he a human being. He gonna do shit that you might not like. The shit ain't about you. Stop making it seem like just because a nigga does some shit that you won't do is corny all of a sudden. I don't even get corny from Michael B. Jordan. You know who I consider corny? Logic. I consider Logic corny. But like, you know what I'm saying? I don't get that same vibe from Michael B. Jordan. And like, I'm not even saying corny in a bad way, but corny in a way that, like, you know what I'm talking about. It be certain people you can't bring around your friends type shit. Like, you the only one that can really like, you the only one that like gets him, because he's gonna be cornered with other people.
See, I wouldn't even necessarily call that corny. That's not corny. That unique, maybe, but not corny.
Nah, I'm saying it could be considered corny because they might be doing shit that other people wouldn't like normally do, or they might be awkward. It might be perceived as awkward. It's all about perception. Because
Right.
just because somebody says they're corny, don't mean he corny to you. He gonna be corny
Right.
to other people though.
That's what makes it so hard to come to present a definitive, definition for the term.
But even with the definition, people are just gonna come up with their own definitions. So that's only gonna get you so far. The only thing you can pretty much do is just be with other people that align with the definition that you personally subscribe to.
Right. Because there's a lot of people who folks are into these days. I'm like, yeah,
Like, bro, I'll
corny,
tell you
corny
right
as
now.
hell.
Yeah, like, bro, I'll tell you right now. There are some people that consider like, not calling your girlfriend a bitch corny. Because there's some people that do that. Yo, my bitch, like that's how they refer to their women. And there are some dudes that think if you don't refer to your woman as that, it's corny. I've seen this on Twitter.
No, if anything, I'm the opposite. I think calling a woman out of her name, at least for no apparent reason, is corny. That's corny shit. To me that's one of the prime examples thereof.
Which that improves my point, Dion. Thank you.
All right. Any last words before we move on to another topic?
Leave people alone, mind your own motherfucking business. Unless your name is on the fucking Hollywood Walk of Fame, shut your mouth. Like my boy The Rock said, know your role, shut your mouth.
Get your own coins up before you start talking about rich people, and just leave it at that.
Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. I see it.
I'm saying.
I was just listening to that song yesterday.
Yo, when I saw that interview, that's what popped in my head. All right, on to our next topic, and we're gonna go through some. Do you care? Do you care that a New York teacher tried to manipulate her fifth grade students into changing genders without their parents' consent?
Yes.
Wait.
About that.
There was a teacher. I think it was a teacher in New York that was teaching a class, and he was trying to convince people to change their genders. And it was one where it's just like she would tell her students to try being gay, even if they were not.
What?
And I think I don't know if this is in New York, but I know there are some states where like if a person can change their gender and without their parents' consent, and do it without their parents' knowledge or some shit like that. Like
What miss say? Oh man.
so,
Shit, this is
There
last
are,
year. Yeah, I told you to be like those. They were in court about like I'm telling you,
there are so many things wrong with that.
busted and shit.
I don't know
yeah,
where to begin.
there was a story, and I don't know. I think I feel like I sent it to one of y'all, and I thought it was interesting that like the it was a little girl, and I guess she she switched her pronouns into a boy without her parents' knowledge, and then like teacher called the parents. It's just like, oh, this person, your child changed their pronouns, and you want to be referred to as this person, and like the parents didn't know, and because they can't tell their parents that this person done changed their genders or some shit like that. So
It must be in states where there are parents who are down with this and taking their kids to drag shows and paying money like while they dance sexually for them. Like that's just blowing up on Twitter like crazy right now.
All right. So can we double back to to the teacher that you were talking about or whatever? Because
oh no, I never left it. But go ahead.
okay, no, because here's my thing on that. First of all, to be clear, I have nothing against LGBT anything, but I feel like you don't expose kids to certain shit until they hit a certain age. It's just certain things that they're just not supposed to know about. These are fifth graders, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell no.
But the parents complaining about this were terrorizers. The
See, here's the
FBI
thing.
put them under
When
domestic.
I
It's
when
crazy.
I in fifth grade, I had literally just learned what sex was in fifth grade. I didn't learn about all the other shit until high school.
It was
You
junior
know,
high.
it's funny
So
because
it's
all I
just
cared about was wrestling and Dragon Ball Z. That's all I cared about was wrestling, Dragon Ball Z.
Mm.
So,
me, wrestling, music, video games. That was my world. And food. Basically the four corners of my world.
Go ahead, Father.
so I just think that it's very irresponsible for a certain narrative or a certain image of like your identity or like your ideology to be represented the way it is. Because usually, like I think it's so sad that when we talk about like anything related to the trans community or anything related to the LGBTQ community, the very first thing we think about is sex, like in the most decrepit way possible, because that is literally like the image that is like perpetuated when it comes to these particular types of people. And I feel like this is part of the reason why there's so much fucking backlash when there's any mention of them going to elementary schools and shit like that. Now, what Dewolf was saying earlier about like the footage of those like drag shows and the shit is sexual, I literally saw it like right before my eyes, and I'm like, yo, so are they not aware that like these children, you know what I'm saying, are like watching this and like see, my thing is kids are smart. You know, like kids know what the fuck they're looking at. The problem is adults like to fucking mislead them and lie to them and tell them shit that isn't really fucking true. They like to put extra shit in there that really isn't really fucking there in the first place. So
Like
it's
Santa
like
Claus.
yeah, exactly. And they do it with every motherfucking thing. They like to indoctrinate kids with their own uselessness when it comes to new types of information being shown to them. So I don't necessarily have a problem with, trans culture or anything like that. That's your culture, that's fine. I just have an issue with the fact that there seems to be like no action in regards to how your culture is being represented to like everyone else. And every single time there's a mention of you with kids or whatever, people are up in arms because they really don't understand what you're about because y'all don't fucking go the extra mile to explain the shit. Like, am I making sense when I'm saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I think you're making sense. Well, I just don't know why you wouldn't tell the parents, or why is it that the
yeah,
parents would have to know?
yeah, just be transparent about the shit. If you want people to be educated about a certain part of your culture, be transparent about it, and also like understand that a lot of people don't come from that. So if there's pushback, don't take it the fuck personally.
I've came to the conclusion that the school system right now is officially a shit show. And it's starting with teachers forcing children to call them certain names that they believe they are. We all have a right to be called certain names, but I think that in a system that is very strict when it comes to children having to get a degree eventually, I think that they should be strict when it comes to rules, such as if a teacher is called they and them, which is plural sound, she is unable to teach children, verbs and pronouns and things of that nature because she's going to confuse that child. Um, or, for instance, if we have teachers that come to school with a shirt that's see through and it's a male and he has a bra on, in a system where children are just beginning to learn about the body, the male and female body, I think that it would be very confusing. We need to allow children to understand the basics before more complicated things occur. And, a lot of people will argue and say it's not complicated, but why do we have algebra 1 and 2? Because it's levels to this shit. So if you want to bog down a fifth grader with all these different pronouns and say you're plural, even though that child is looking at you and seeing that you clearly are an individual, but you're telling him or her to write down on a paper singular words. You are confusing the fuck out of that child. And I don't think that's right because the development of a child's mind, it doesn't develop like an adult. When they get to high school, yeah, go at it. But when it comes to elementary and even in high school, it's a much deeper, thorough explanation that needs to be had. I think that respect of each other when it comes to the basic necessities, science, biology, and words are all mislabeled to push forth people's emotional stance. And now it's coming to the systems where teachers are allowed to, hide things from the parents. And I don't think that's right. And I really think that any teacher that thinks it's okay to force children to hide things from their parents or force children to call them things that they are now discovering the world, okay? They're discovering the world how it is. If you don't want the children to call you, um, you know, the government name that you were given that you get taxes through, then just have them call you by your first name if you can't let them call you by your last name. But telling a child to call you they and them and all this stuff, I don't think it's kosher for children to be confused in that manner.
Here, here.
Can I ask a question? I kind of want to play devil's advocate with this question, but can I ask anyway? But so, how about if there is a possibility that they could rationalize like their culture in a way that was digestible for y'all? Would y'all still be opposed to it or not?
What you mean?
Like if somebody came to you, like let's say like they're in the class, like let's say there's a hypothetical classroom
Hmm.
and they want to do a presentation, and now let's say one of your children is in that class, and but before they even went there, they had a meeting with all the parents. You are part of, you attended that meeting, and they showed a like basically not a demonstration but like a they had like a meeting, or like they did like a presentation of what exactly what they're going to be talking about specifically in that class before it happens with the parents, and it was like rational, and it was explained very well. Is basically what I'm saying. Would you still have an open mind to it or no?
I would only have an open mind if the child is 10 and above.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, the reason for that is because still a child that is from birth to ages 8 and 9 are still developing. Even though they say they may grasp it, a lot of children say they grasp things and they just are saying it because their friend grasped it faster than them. And then they end up being pushed through the system. And you think that they understand and they fucking don't. And that brings frustration, depression, and other mental illnesses. That is tracked back to those type of ages. If we look at statistics, the reason why we have a lot of children that are depressed and near damn unaliving themselves every 2 seconds is because people like the teacher we have in the newspaper today are pushing these agendas on them behind their parents' back, and no one's addressing it. Yeah, this one teacher was caught, but I can tell you plenty of times when I personally was in school and my teacher was trying to put political stance on me, and I was too young to understand what the fuck was going on. And that brought forth a way that I used to be in high school through this teacher, and I understood that wasn't right, and I should have brought it to my parents' attention. But now it was too late until I brought it up, and I had to do my own research. But why make a child go through all of that shit in the first place?
Hmm.
I've always said before you do anything, run it by the parents first, so at least know what information you are going to get the child. I feel like it should be optional. If they're okay with it, and if it's rational, like you said it was, the parents still gotta okay it. And I feel like a lot, and if it's rational enough, I do feel like a lot of people will okay it. But I just rather them run it by the parents first before anything. So,
Hard to believe they'll do it.
Xavier, is that you?
I hear something. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
He's getting jitsy.
Oh God.
He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
There
you
you
now.
go.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's me.
All right, what's going on, Xavier? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
All right, good, good, great to have you here.
Mm.
Was you listening to what we was talking about? Before I move on to
For the most part, because I came in when I came in about
He
8 minutes.
came in. He came in midway through that topic and completely missed the first. So
But you
oh,
don't back. You can keep going.
okay. The next do you care? Did y'all care about that fight that Natalie Nunn and Tommy Lee had?
Well, Tommy Lee got an ass whooped. That's all I saw. So next.
Not at all.
Okay, that's okay. Cool. Also, do y'all care that what's her name? Yara Shahidi is going to be playing Tinkerbell in I guess the next Peter Pan movie.
Bro.
Um, I'm not sure. I feel like you know how I feel about stuff like that because you follow me on Facebook.
Yeah.
Um,
so
my
who?
I really don't feel like debating on it, but it's just simply that, especially when it comes to like first time live actions, this is not the movie with what's his name that passed away that played Genie, Robin Williams. That
Robin
was
Williams.
a Peter Pan movie. That was a Captain Hook movie with Peter Pan in it. When it comes to an actual first time live action movie big like this, I like to see the characters the way they're supposed to be. I've said that about everything. I said that about Avatar, The Last Airbender. I said that about Tomb Raider. I mean, I've said that about everything. And like to me, if especially if you're gonna make her Tinkerbell, I'm like, well, at least make the hair blonde or something blonde, or make the make something about it. And then Peter Pan was an entire different race, and some people don't really care about that, but I don't know, like because it would annoy me when if it was a black character and they made the black character Asian. I'm like, no, I just like when stuff are put as what it was supposed to be, the characters originally. Get that out the way, and then if we want to do remixes or do different worlds after, then let's do it. But I don't like seeing first time movies and like everybody's different races. Fortunately, that's just how I like it. But not agree.
I think
Weren't the
I think it's utterly ridiculous that every time we look at something that personally, I'll just speak for myself. Every time I look around with a cartoon that I grew up with, or even a movie that is a resemblance of or a part of my childhood, it's always being changed. And I call hypocrisy. The reason why I call hypocrisy on every time I look around, the race is changed. Um, on things that originally was not the race of that person, such as Tinkerbell or Ariel, it's because everybody was in an uproar when voice actors that just on cartoons alone, for example, Cleveland show, okay, when the voice actor was white, okay, even though it's representing a black cartoon, All right. The person has to leave that job. So now we have movies where everybody's for, and that was the original. The Cleveland Show. He came on and he was black and you know.
No, I think it was the guy Simpsons. He was the first one, I think.
Okay. Well, all I know is that if you're going to be in an uproar for voice actors that happen to be Caucasian and is doing the black voice and calling racism on that, I think that it's safe to say that based on something that originally was the race of that person who happens to be Caucasian in the storyline, it should stay the same person. You can't say you want to be respected in your color and your complexion and you have all these things to say about your culture and feel like it's being, I guess, I don't want to say the R word on here, but you feel like it's being manipulated, right? And then you're doing it to another race. You have to give respect to get it. And I just feel like this, in most cases, the fact that originally the people were Caucasian or whatever race they are, and then it has to be changed to, black. I think it ain't right. It's not right. I don't see other races doing this. I just see it with, the black race, and I don't think that's right at all.
Back to Hook. Weren't the Lost Boys diverse as hell? Already?
Yeah, it was.
All right. I know. So it's like, that's why people make fun of Oscar so white thing, because I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I get it.
Excuse me.
All these black shows and like expense everything. Like, people love, When I was talking to my lady the other day, and I was like, yo, I don't know why they have to push this shit, because already, and they're doing it wrong, because already in the comics, I'm like, do you know who the first female to run the Justice League was? I'm like, a black woman, right? The first female to run the Avengers, a black woman. So I'm like, what? And this was way back in the day. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on here for this to even be the case. And the people who are just pushing this shit and like hooraying this shit, I don't get it. Because like I have a lot to look back at and be like, I'm proud to be who I am, because look, not a lot of inspiration back then. And I feel like it's like being erased. Like the Land O'Lakes, where's the Indian woman? It's just race history right there. Oh my God. It's insane. I don't know.
I'm going to say the same thing I said when everybody made a big stink over Little Mermaid. I just want the fucking movie to be enjoyable. That's all I care about.
Well,
there's no need for all this extra shit.
Well, every other damn live action joint bombed. I think, yeah, they pretty much bombed. So,
I think Ariel would do I think Ariel is going to be the one that does very well, but I think Peter Pan is going to be like, because I feel like Peter Pan is not. I don't know. Like I feel like Peter Pan, like that whole aura of Peter Pan has died out. I feel like I don't ever hear anything about Peter Pan like I did when I was like maybe in first grade. And no one ever talks about him on shows, really like bring him up. Like the last time he was brought up in to my recollection was that show, not Enchanted. I was gonna say Enchanted. What the hell was it called? And it did all the Disney characters. It was live action. CBS. Oh my God.
Was that the
Evil Queen? Her name was Regina.
My dumbass was about to say House of Mouse, and he said live action. I was about to say House of Mouse.
No.
Not
but they had like each episode, like those like different.
The show you're thinking of is Descendants.
No, But it had like Ursula, it had Robin. I mean, it had everybody there. And
It
Peter
was
Pan,
on like
like
ABC, right?
If
CBS
it
or
was
something like that.
if this was a Disney spin-off thing, it's probably Descendants.
No, it's not the Descendants. Oh my god.
I
Was
know
it
what
on
you're
I don't want
talking
to put too
about,
much.
but I don't remember the name either. It's fine.
Wait,
Yeah, I
was
don't
it
want
on
to spend too much
ABC?
time with it, but I think it was ABC.
Wasn't it? No, Enchanted was a movie. No, hold on.
Oh my god. Once Upon a Time.
Okay, there we go.
Once Upon a Time.
Oh,
And
okay.
Peter Pan was in there. So I feel like, it's not, like he's not talked about enough for even like the new generation of kids to like want to run to him. Cause he's
There's
not
a
doing
whole
no
generation
cartoons
that
on
don't
them.
know that don't know who Peter Pan is. Like,
Yeah. Because
my,
I swear that he's not.
if I said the name Peter Pan to my son right now, who is 7, he gonna look at me confused as fuck.
Yeah,
He
because
don't
I
know who
don't
the fuck
even
Peter
think
Pan
they
is.
have Peter Pan in Disney World signing autographs. And like the
No,
characters that was there when I went in 2005, a lot of them are not there.
what year? When was that show? Once Upon a Time active again?
It came
Around what
out, I
time
think, in
frame?
2010 or 2011.
2011. 2011.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it
So
was for an older crowd. So
that was if Peter Pan was featured on that program, then that is literally the last time Peter Pan has ever been used.
right,
I think.
like at Disney World, I got Timon and Pumbaa's autograph, and they're not even there anymore to sign autographs.
There's not to mention they're side characters for real.
Right,
Like, so you initially wouldn't expect to see them. You expecting Simba and Scar and
right.
Mufasa
So
and
it's
shit.
like, I can only imagine what these kids are going to be excited for. And I think Ariel still, is being pushed because I believe her dolls, like I was just in Target, her dolls are still with the Disney princesses. Like her dolls are there. So I feel like that will do well, but not Peter Pan. But I love the actress who's playing Tinkerbell. Like I would never want to discredit her. I don't want to make it seem like I'm angry at her.
She was great on Blackish.
Yeah, I love her. Like she's such a sweet girl from what I can gather. But I just wish if you are gonna make her. Oh, another thing is somebody made a good point on Twitter that they probably didn't want to put blonde hair on her because they don't want to make her racially ambiguous, which I find that to be silly. But I'm like, that could be a
It's
thing.
a fictional character. Who gives a fuck?
But people do. That's the
What?
thing. You
She
That's
gotta
could,
what
she
you're
could
you
saying.
be.
gotta think about it.
The
Was
bitch
it
could
a
have been bold for
90s?
all I care. I
Was it
don't
a
give a fuck.
90s thing? Back in the day,
Dion,
didn't
did you
black
miss the
women?
whole "Not My Ariel"? Hashtag "Not My Ariel"? Did you miss that whole thing?
And I didn't give a fuck then. Like I said, I just want the movie to be fucking enjoyable.
Okay, all
Yo,
right.
Well,
how many times do I gotta say different folks, different strokes, yo?
unfortunately, everyone is not thinking like you. Like, I could sit here and crack a little joke, say, wear her blonde hair, wear her Caucasian skin
And
tone.
I've been
But
and like
that's it.
and to this point, I've been let down every time.
Mm.
Another another thing, like this needs to stop because at the end of the day, what this does when someone it sucks the life and the excitement out of the movie when people are talking about all this extra shit.
Hmm.
So now you're trying to tune that out and you end up just not being interested in the shit anymore
Right.
because you know everyone all of a sudden wants to get political about everything and sucked all the hype out of shit.
Now,
And they
imagine
admitted that's what their plan is for their properties. So it's unavoidable.
imagine they do Princess and the Frog and they make Zoe Kravitz the main actress. You know how many people that's going to piss off? You know how many people are going to be pissed off?
Hmm.
I'm not.
But you gotta think like, why don't you have a brown skinned actress?
So,
You have a racially ambiguous, light-skinned, fine-haired woman with Caucasian features playing a dark-skinned South St. Louis Creole black woman.
I would that my only concern would be how thick of a southern accent can she pull off.
Nope, that see, and you're
That's
basic.
all I
Not
would
in a
care
bad,
about.
not in a rude way, but you're basic that way, and that's good. There are going to people be like,
Didn't they
what
do
is
that to
this?
Zoe Saldana
Yep, when she
for Nina
played.
Simone?
Yeah, when
Yep.
she played,
Well,
she
the thing
shouldn't have
is,
played Nina Simone though. She shouldn't have played Nina Simone.
they darkened the skin, which I didn't understand. I'm like, was there no dark skinned actors? Because Zoe Saldana doesn't even have Nina Simone features. Nina
No,
Simone
she got
had
Spanish.
very
Don't tell me they did.
typical.
So they did her like they did Flex Alexander in that bullshit Michael
Exactly.
Jackson movie.
Exactly. Because Nina Simone had what you call the typical black features: big lips, big nose,
Mhm.
So it's like, Zoe Saldana doesn't look like that.
Yeah,
We can.
slim, little slim body with just enough ass to grab onto and have some fun with it.
Oh gosh,
Did I say that out loud? Damn.
you did.
Um,
You
Yeah,
did.
shit,
yeah. Some
shit.
you ain't right, Dion.
And
If they
I
don't
love
have
Zoe
a
Saldana.
side note, if they don't have Janelle Monae playing fucking the Princess and the Frog, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch it.
Well, who said that? Who said that she wants to act anymore?
You don't think she wants to act anymore?
No, I'm being funny.
But I think she would kill that part though. I think that'd
I'm,
be a good choice.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like that's perfect. It's just like when they had Patrick Stewart play Professor X. That's it. You ain't got to go no further. That's it.
Mhm.
You ain't got to do that.
Shit.
Let okay. Last. Do you care? Do y'all care that there for some reason? And this always happens when we talk about race and blackface. And speaking of darkening the character, uh, they're trying to make Ben Stiller apologize for fucking Tropic Thunder and the whole blackface thing in Tropic Thunder.
No,
If they
that's not a
don't
thing.
leave
That's
that
not a
shit
no. That's not a
alone,
thing. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's bro. This shit was solved like 10 years ago,
It keeps coming back up.
and it keeps
no
coming
one,
back up.
no one
I
can even fuck back then for real.
I need someone to explain to me though, like, why is Ben Stiller taking heat?
Because it's his movie.
Oh, okay.
He directed the
Hmm.
movie.
Oh, okay. I never looked into it, and I never knew that.
Nah,
Okay.
nah. You know what? At this point, the people that are upset about that movie are the people that didn't fucking watch it. So I don't care.
That's what I said. I said before y'all like because every time, and this is just me, every time when we bring something about race, there's two movies that always come up. That is White Chicks and then it's Tropic Thunder. And I always talk
Hmm.
about it's always White Chicks because Sean and Marlon Wayans did that, and I said one that's apples and oranges, and there was a reason why they was fucking undercover. And two, if y'all never watched, like Father said, if y'all never watched Tropic Thunder, do not bring it up in blackface
Hmm.
because everything was talked about in that fucking movie. And Robert Downey Jr. wasn't playing a black guy; he was playing a dude dressed as a
Mhm.
dude, disguised as another dude.
But
That's
okay, see now this is where I have to play devil's advocate because technically, is he not in blackface?
the whole. Have you And I'm not being facetious or smart. Have you seen the movie?
I have not, but I know enough about it. I've been explaining the movie and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's a white person with that on, and it's like people have tried to explain the whole, oh, it's not considered blackface, but yet when that French girl, and we talked about it on this podcast, the
Mm-hmm.
French white girl who cosplayed as that black character from was it Final Fantasy?
I think it was League of Legends, right?
I don't even remember. And they were she was head to toe, I mean, phenomenal. And they're trying to say she was doing blackface, but it was like, no, she wasn't doing blackface. She literally dressed up as a character. Like, you don't even see her face. Like, she was head to toe this character. She basically was wearing like a suit of him. And that was people also brought up that movie with that discussion as well. And yeah, like I always wondered, like, what makes certain things okay, because me, I love a good joke, I love twisted stuff, and I don't take a lot of stuff personal at all, and I find a lot of messed up shit funny. But it's like I always wondered, when some people say Tropic Thunder is acceptable, it's like, well, is it because y'all enjoyed it and y'all thought it was so good that you're saying here like no? Because if it wasn't good, would you suddenly say it was blackface? Because as a collective, a lot of people.
Oh yeah, what I'll say is, so the reason why we're saying that it's important to watch the movie before anybody says anything is because yes, so he is in blackface. It is, you are correct. He is in blackface.
Right.
The context of the movie, however, is that the person is playing another person. He's
Right.
fully aware of the fact that it's blackface.
Right.
But in the movie's context, it's another character. So it's separated. That's why we're saying watching the movie is important, so you understand that context.
Exactly.
Because there's a reason why he is in blackface. It's to tell a message. There's a message behind it. It's not just, oh, we think it's funny, so we're just gonna dress Robert Downey Jr. and make him darker. It's like, no, there's a reason. It's actually pretty important to the movie too, and that's what makes it funny.
Because I'm like, does everyone collectively understand that, or are other people piggybacking and saying, yeah, right, like what he said? I mean, obviously, bro, that's how it is. Because it's like, I don't think everyone is that smart to say, there's this message behind why he's doing this. So sometimes I always wondered, with this whole conversation, do people really understand? And like, can people understand why other people may not like it and they will consider it to be offensive? Because it's that part of the conversation where you say, well, how can you tell someone that something is not offensive or not? So it's
For
like,
me,
Well,
for
may I
me,
ask
it's
that real quick?
all
Because
right.
my answer to that question is short but simple. I always say how people read too much into things, but see, when this is a case where it's the opposite, they're not reading into it enough. This is one again, like like Father said, there's a message there. Don't just take it as fucking face value.
Go ahead, D Wolf.
For me, it's I don't know. I see a few things in my life this way, but it's about intent. If I know your intent, it's not
malicious.
blackface to me. Because like even as a kid, I'm not I'm not. I don't know about the race shit yet and stuff like that. I see movies and comedies, and I'm seeing black people do it. I'm like, okay, that's fucking funny. You look just like, you sound like him. How are you doing this? You're not even his color. What's going on? That's all I'm getting from it. I'm not getting, oh my God, how dare you?
Right.
Right. So really true. When I see that the other way, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's the same thing. Holy shit, that's fucking funny. He's kind of close. He's not there. But he's kind of close. It's fucking impressive. Like, that's how it is for me. Because it's the same thing like what Chris was saying earlier with the voice acting. I'm like, yo, okay. I didn't find out Cleveland was voiced by a white guy till he was a guest on the Attack of the Show on G4. And they said, oh, voice of Cleveland. I was like, oh, what? Holy shit. I'm impressed. At the same time, one of my favorite voice actors, the Richardson, he plays Junior in the Cleveland. Yeah. Right? He's Junior. And He's Lester. So I'm like, holy shit, you got range, son, and it's fucking so that's how I see it. So
Right.
even in live action, I'm like, I'm not bothered by it. But if it's about offending, I'm like, well, it's not easy to offend me, but I'm like, I will get it. Like, okay, now you're purposely doing it. You got to pay somehow, you got to understand what you're doing to her. You got to, it needs to be addressed. But outside of that, I mean, for all I know, they could be lying. They could be enjoying it and feeling the same way, like feeling racist about it. But we just don't know. If I don't know, I'm like, okay, I don't know. All I know is what you're portraying, and it's funny. If you tell me you did that and you see quietly enjoying that shit, like I'm like, okay, now I'm erasing that from my memory. I'm never going to enjoy that anymore. Fuck you. I'm not watching anything you produce. I'll make those moves accordingly. I can't, So anything that pops up, I'm like, I don't go there. Like, because sometimes these things happen for no reason. Sometimes it's used as a weapon, as we see. People are getting fired and shit, or quitting. And I'm like, it's your craft, yo. And at least you're not doing it in live action, some of y'all. So I'm like,
I just want us to go back in the day, because like you were saying, like as a kid, like when I would watch Martin, and Martin was, acting like a white person or something.
Yeah.
Like, or like on Mad TV, like that shit is funny, because it's like another person acting like another person, and they're so fucking spot on. And it's funny. It's actually funny stuff. It's not even trying to be just straight racist or something like that. It's legit funny things. And I love that. And then I find that once you get around certain people, once you're taught certain things, that's when you start going through the whole, oh, well, that is supposed to be offensive. I think I need to be offended, and I'm going to complain about it. Because I find that if you don't really grow up in that kind of household, you don't really think like that. Because I was allowed to watch just about anything I wanted, and jokes were flying through the roof up in the air. So like, I don't really look at stuff offensively like that. Even when people make gay jokes, like I can, I don't find that shit offensive. If it's funny, it's funny. Damn, it was something else you said. I forgot. I wanted to touch on, but yeah.
See, you have what is called the '90s gay mentality.
Excuse me.
Ray,
This
I know why
is
your
what Dave
fucking mouth.
Chappelle was talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm telling you, people. I always told people that whole thing with Dave Chappelle. I was not offended, but I did not find it funny. Like I was like, I don't think his joke was funny. I really did not. But I'm not offended, and I'm not upset, and I'm not wanting to go out and punch him in his face. I'm like, I just didn't find it funny. I'm like, it was kind of corny to me.
That's
I
fair.
said, that's tied and through, whatever.
I'm like, why can't that be the case with people?
But some people really get in an uproar, and I'm just sitting here like, you know what? I think I'm just, I don't want to say I'm desensitized, because I'm not, because I'm a very sensitive person. But it's like, honey, you're gonna have to come at me real hard,
What killed me with that whole situation was there were actual homosexuals who were coming to Dave Chappelle's defense,
yeah,
and how once they started sounding off on, exactly why they didn't care, why they were, just took it for what it was a joke, was just laughing like everyone else. Like, that shit stopped so fast.
yeah, like just like literally today, Marciano's cousin, he and I are real cool. And when I first went to the chat, he was someone when I first came to the chat, and he was making a joke. And he was like, yeah, when Mark told me that you wanted to come up in here, I said, oh, hell no, no faggots up in here. And you have to hear how he says it. Like, he talks real funny. And we busted out laughing, and he knows that we can joke like that. And, he was just like, I'm so glad, we can fuck around with each other. Because, I say my mean stuff because, like, he's diabetic and, he's not fat, but he's a little overweight. And then, I be going in on that. So it's like,
he's not fat, he's a little overweight.
But yeah, I'm just,
How do you not just backhand compliment, but double backhand. That's
You
a
know, I'm
double
trying to say,
backhand.
like, when you tell somebody someone's fat, you just think sloppy, big. I'm like, no, he's just a little, he's a little fluffy.
That's that's backhanded as fuck.
I get it.
It's coming
I
from
get
love.
I guess.
Mm-mm.
All right. More of the story is, please, if you haven't watched the movie Tropic Thunder, please watch the movie Tropic Thunder. It will answer any questions you have around that topic. If you ever get the chance, just go ahead and watch. It's a funny movie too. So
Um,
and
Yeah, I need to watch it.
yeah,
I'm gonna watch that
I think
motherfucker this weekend just for fun. Now that it's been brought up.
yeah, I think you will actually enjoy that movie, Isaiah, because it's really funny. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, on to our next topic. How do y'all feel about Black Twitter uh fucking getting on Sierra for making independent women don't need no man music while she's booed up with fucking Russell Wilson?
You know what? I only think they reacted because she did it. She specifically did it. I feel like if it was any other person that was doing that shit, they would have. If Cardi B did that shit, nobody would say nothing.
But she did. She did along with Nick, whoever.
What's the problem?
Why do we give a fuck?
No,
Why does anyone give a fuck? Why
No,
You got, okay,
this?
this one I can answer, Dion.
Because I thought
Xavier,
you was gonna talk about her braids. I thought that's what you was gonna bring up.
if you want to talk about her braids, you can talk
No,
about
no, 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 no. That's why I was like, wait, what's this
you
conversation?
you already brought it up. I mean,
okay. I think it was a TikTok or Instagram reel where she was working on a song, and some of the songs was just like it was supposed to represent the girls as like independent, don't need no man, and all that other stuff. And then there was people on Twitter, especially there's a lot of women, especially a lot of black women, and they was talking about how you gonna be talking about uh being independent, no need no man for nothing when after you done with your song you gonna be booed up and going to your husband. So a lot of people are pointing out the hypocrisy of
But
Oh,
I don't see
what
it being hypocrisy because she's like, I feel like she's talking from experience, singing from experience.
mm-hmm.
Because when you get older, you speak about experience and letting younger people know, look, you don't need him. Because I thought I needed Future, and he fucked me over, and I thought I needed that, and I thought I had to be dependent on him. But guess what? I did not, and you don't either. And that's how I found my husband, who treats me like the queen that I am because he's my king. I mean, I know it sounds so corny saying that, but like I look at it like that because Sierra has gone through the ringer, and I know
I mean,
and she's just
I have to
speaking
hear the song.
positivity.
I have to hear the song.
I
But
I would play it.
but people always have something to say about Sierra, anyways.
they do.
I don't know why.
It's
Me,
Sierra time.
because it's her.
Sierra time.
And I really do think
Because
some people. I really think it is
it's her
jealousy
and
too.
because of who she's married to.
Yeah, and I think it's jealousy because I mean, honestly, he really treats her amazingly. Like we want that low key, not me. I want it, not high key. People want that low key. Like they're like, yo, like I wish my man did that. Ugh, that corny motherfucker. I'm like, I don't even think he's that corny. Like
Uh-huh.
y'all be trying to say. Like I see what they mean by corny sometimes, but I'm like,
He
but
cool as shit.
but that's the good type. That's the type you can bring around your family, and he can be cool with your family. Like a man like Future. I don't see him meeting nobody's family and being cool unless they hood as fuck, and that's not Sierra. So I'm like, who cares? They always have something to say about her.
Yeah, that's why I said I feel like they only really reacted the way they did because it was Ciara specifically. And another thing is like, bro, people are very fickle because the one minute They praising somebody for the most bare minimum shit, and then the next minute they're crowding around because there are literally people, there are literally celebrities. If they do anything, they get dragged. Another good example of that is Chloe. Anytime Chloe does something, there's like the Chloe hater brigade in her comment section every single time talking shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm Father, you gonna hate me, but sometimes I'm part of that brigade.
Yeah, listen, listen.
I'm sorry,
Listen.
because sometimes she be
You know
making me,
what?
she be annoying me.
No, listen. I understand. I understand. When I
You know
say
what?
that, I'm not saying that like I oppose it. I understand why
You know
they come
what?
for her because sometimes she be doing some stuff and I'm like, oh, they gonna drag.
It's the moaning stuff, and I'm like, all right, leave Minnie Riperton's song alone.
And it's not because it confuses me because she's a beautiful, attractive girl. She just like I don't think the sexy shit is for her. Like when she does sophisticated shit, like when she does Met Gala, like when she does red carpet shit, it's amazing. But like when she does all that other sex appeal shit, I'm like, it's
Yeah,
like a
like
fish
I
out
thought
of
they were
water.
gonna go the avant-garde, futuristic Khalees type way.
Yeah.
Like that's how they used to me when they were a little group. That's how they used to act to me. Then all of a sudden, here she go whining and grinding and touching her crotch and moaning and fellatio the microphone. I'm like,
I
what is,
laugh.
I
I
have
don't
a
like
theory.
that.
I have a theory on that, but I'm gonna let y'all continue. I have a theory on it though.
By the way, when I saw that shit she did with the microphone, I fucking laughed because I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I'm like, all right now.
Poor microphone.
Oh no!
God damn.
And hopefully her
Was it
breath
that
don't
bad?
stink.
So on a scale of 1 to Jill Scott, how was it?
Shut the
Oh,
I was just about to. I was just about to say something
be
about
quiet.
that. Oh my god.
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you. Thank
Oh
you.
my god.
Nah, you know that little kid in church. You gotta sing in front of everybody for the first time, and you can hear him breathing heavily on the mic. That's what it was.
Oh shit.
The one thing I want to add to this though, y'all are dogging Sierra for something that female rappers have been getting away with for decades.
I'll let you
Bring the same smoke to them. And that's all I got to say about that.
Wait. Say that again?
I said they're trying to get at Sierra for something that vast majority of these female rappers have been doing for decades.
Sierra or Chloe?
Sierra.
Wait, what are you talking about that they've been doing for decades?
The
Like
whole like independent woman. I don't
Independent
need
don't need no man, whatever, whatever.
Oh, city girl behavior. City girl behavior.
Uh-huh.
No. Wait. No, I don't think Sierra is city girl like.
Mm-mm.
Unless I didn't hear her new song.
Oh,
I
I put
don't.
it
I
in
don't.
the
I won't put her
All
in
I'm
the same
saying,
category.
I put it in the
all I'm
chat. If you want to
saying
look
is,
at it, it's pull up the it looked like a talk bubble
Mm-hmm.
and the short is right there. That's the song I would play it, but I don't want to get copyrighted like that. So,
Uh-huh.
but it's
but
there if you want to check it out.
Okay.
but all I'm saying is, if y'all gonna come at Sierra for this, bring that same smoke to these to the rappers.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm one of the few people that told Sierra to sit her ass down somewhere, and so and I'm gonna tell you why. Because even though Xavier is right, a lot of people talk about their past experience, and as artists, you gotta at least express your art somewhere. But at the same time, you you can't talk about you can't talk about a relationship with the nigga you with now because I don't really see her talk about Russell much other outside of the Sierra prayer. And to Dion's point, a lot of people have been calling out rappers like Cardi, a little bit of Beyonce, because I've been seeing it lately. And even Meg, because they talk about real hot girl, city girl shit, and a
But
lot of these
Megan Thee Stallion stay up under some nigga.
yeah, and Meg Thee Stallion got a man. City girls, they both got men. One of them's a side chick to Diddy, and like to get peed on. The other one
A
is
proud one at that.
yeah. Um, the only person I know that keeps it legit, and I'm gonna be honest, it keeps it legit is Nicki Minaj because she do boss bitch shit. But obviously, Nicki Minaj talks about where she is. But a lot of other people, they're getting on a lot of these female rappers. It's just like, how you gonna talk about do this city girl, hot girl shit, and yet all y'all got boyfriends. And a lot of people are seeing that and just calling that out, especially someone like Russell Wilson that not only took her baby in from another nigga and bought her masters from I forgot where the fuck they got it. They both own a baseball team, so obviously she was able to make a lot of moves with Russell Wilson. So I think a lot of people would rather her talk about that stuff. Like even Jay-Z now, like most of his raps about art and like financial freedom and businesses and some shit like that. Like there's some growth. I think a lot of people want to see growth from not just Sierra but other female rappers, and I feel like they're not really getting that. Now, there are people out there I feel like they could pull out with the independent, don't need no man shit like a Glorilla, because I feel like everything Glorilla rap about she really do, even if it's ratchet as fuck. I like Glorilla though. She's just like super ratchet. Sukiana,
That's why you like her.
Sukiana, who's just like
You heard
ratchet.
that stutter proved my point. Anyway,
I don't like Sukiana. I do not like Sukiana.
I was talking about the Glorilla thing.
Glorilla's ratchet, but that's like Q's ratchet. That's not like my level of ratchetness. But Q the one that like ratchet. I think she.
Who
I think she
whose ratchet is worse? Whose ratchet is worse?
Q's because I think. But I like Glorilla. I like Glorilla, but I think she dumb as hell too. And sometimes there's some shit. There's some people you just be around. It's just like, nah, you need to shut the fuck up. It's you just look at it. Go sit your dumb ass down somewhere. So that's why, and that's how I felt about Sierra. And I love Sierra. I think she's one of the greatest entertainers of our generation. After the Aaliyahs, the Aaliyahs, the R&B singers of the '90s. I think for the 2000s, Sierra is one of the greatest entertainers and one of the greatest dancers, male or female.
Hello.
But yeah, she needed to sit her ass down somewhere, and that's how I felt about it. I'm not very,
I'm sorry. It's just
all y'all
funny
got
when you
points.
talk about this in that manner.
That is, she need to sit her
You
ass
said
down.
AMC what?
Yeah, a lot of people need to sit their ass down somewhere. A couple of them.
Shit.
Okay.
All right.
Any last words before we move on to our final
No.
thoughts?
Yeah, I would like to say that I was going to I was gonna say that people should, not talk about Sierra or whatever, but I think that if they are gonna talk about a celebrity like being fraudulent based off of where she was and where she is, I think this is the best time to ask for her to talk about her winnings and not go backwards. To me, if you're a married woman, you are going backwards talking about being an independent woman because, a lot of people like to compare your current lifestyle and relate to it. They can't relate to it if you're a married woman with all these assets under your belt. So I get it. And this is a change. This is a change because usually a majority of women would ask for the independent song or for the breakup song, not the song about being so in love, you know. But anyway, it
The
is what.
streets are cold, Crystal. The streets are cold, man. You don't love nobody.
So what you're saying is there's a shift beginning to occur.
I just think
It happens fast.
I just think that it's like when Mary J. Blige gets out of a breakup, you know her albums is going to be good because
Mhm.
you know it's just it comes from somewhere. But when she
Mary J. Blige's shit is good because it's motherfucking Mary J. Blige.
nah, breakup Mary J. Blige is fire. I don't care what it is.
Don't leave me, leave me, leave me. Don't go, don't go. My shit.
That's a classic though. But anyway, um, proceed.
uh, shit. Did you want to continue, Chris, or did I cut? Was that it?
No, that was it.
Okay. Oh, and this goes for male rappers too. I'm not just picking on female rappers. There's a couple male rappers that A, y'all need to sit your ass down, or B, do something else because some of y'all shit is getting redundant. And I would be honest, a lot of
Yes.
female rappers lapped a lot of male rappers, I think, last year. So um
We
some of
got
y'all
rid of the
You just
baby.
reminded me of the one T-Pain clip where he was
when
cussing
he said
out.
do something else.
Yeah,
He was right. He was right though. It was just like everybody
that's
doing
what
the same shit.
that's what made it funny. That's what made it funny. It was funny because it was true.
Oh man. Yeah. I think everybody needs to hear that right. That's why we getting remakes and reboots and shit. So that's just me. We're gonna go with final thoughts and Xavier, I'm gonna go ahead and start with you.
To these male rappers, I hope we get rid of more of you, just like we got rid of the baby. The baby, no one cares about what colors you was wearing in California. No one's checking for you, and I want to know where do you think you are going? That colors is gonna matter. No one's looking at you like that. You're ugly, anyways. Fuck out of here. Them pants was real tight. You look like a bate boy. And then
Oh my fucking god,
that is what to run my mouth. Y'all have a
this
good night.
nigga here. Oh man, I am not high enough for this.
Oh man. Is that it, Xavier?
Yeah.
Oh man. Dion is on you.
uh, final thought. Final thought. I got nothing tonight. Go ahead.
All right, D Wolf is on you.
Damn. I don't have anything. Yo, just
That's a
yo,
first.
we just need to. We just gotta leave well enough alone. That's how it needs to be.
Right.
I miss those days.
All right, Crystal is on you.
All right. So I actually have a poem that was written by Johnny Ray Ryder Jr. It's called The Oak Tree. I'll begin. A mighty wind blew night and day. It stole the oak tree's leaves away, then snapped its boughs and pulled its bark until the oak was tired and stark. But still the oak tree held its ground, while other trees fell all around. The weary wind gave up and spoke. How can you still be standing, oak? The oak tree said, I know that you can break each branch of mine in two, carry every leaf away, shake my limbs and make me sway. But I have roots stretched in the earth, growing stronger since my birth. You'll never touch them, for you see, they are the deepest part of me. Until today, I wasn't sure of just how much I could endure. But now I've found, with thanks to you, I'm stronger than I ever knew.
Powerful.
That was dope. Father, it is on you.
um, I'm just gonna end it with your desire to remain as you are is ultimately what limits you, and I'll leave it at that.
All right. Um, random dumb shit right now. If you are a stud and if you are finer than your femme girlfriend, I'm gonna need y'all to switch places because that shit confusing as fuck.
Oh my fucking god!
So,
Where did that come from?
I
Where did I? Where, no, no,
didn't
Where did-
I just said random, right? I just said random.
no,
It's just
no.
right.
That one I feel like there's a story behind.
Oh, he
No,
said
there's no
That
random.
one
story.
I feel like there's a story
I
behind.
said I said random. I said random. I said, don't you think? No,
Oh
Dion, don't
shit!
you think if a stud is finer than the femme girlfriend that she done settled?
I mean, to be fair, I see that, but it's the way you said that. It's just like I feel like there's something behind that.
Not really. No, it was just that was just normal. I said random. I said definitely. uh, you know, that was one of my thoughts. That should be one of my thoughts today. I'm looking at also I'm trying to like really look dive deep into the Madonna horror complex. I don't know a lot about it, but it does seem interesting.
What?
So I'm the Madonna horror complex.
What?
What? You
I'm
said
gonna need an
what?
explanation. Wait a minute. Hold up.
I thought it's pretty self-explanatory to me. You don't see how many people she be dating.
Oh, you mean whore? I thought it was like I thought people were trying to look like her currently with her plastic surgery. I got confused. My bad.
I don't mean the actual. I actually did not mean the actual artist Madonna. So,
You see the okay, I get it. I get it now. Well,
okay, the Madonna horror. Okay, I'm gonna give you a definition. The Madonna horror complex, also called the Madonna mistress complex, is the inability to maintain sexual arousal within a committed, loving relationship.
You cut out. Say that again.
The Madonna horror complex, or also called the Madonna mistress complex, is the inability to maintain sexual arousal within a committed, loving relationship.
Um. Okay. Wait. How? I'll leave it the fuck alone.
This psychological Dion, this psychological complex is said to develop in men who see women as either saintly Madonnas or debased prostitutes. It, men with this behavioral complex desire a sexual partner who has been degraded, aka the whore, while they cannot desire the respected partner, the Madonna, because obviously y'all know where Madonna got her name from. Is I think it's a nun or some shit like that. But
but
Sigmund Freud wrote, "Where such men love, they have no desire, and where they desire, they cannot love." So basically, it's just like what I'm saying is, it's just like a lot of these dudes, they get on some of these women, especially like IG models. They always talk about how much they're whores and they want fit, family friendly, and all that other shit, but they end up, either being in relationship with the people with the women that they call whores, or they never get with the ones they want. They actually don't really want. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
In other words, women like how dudes say they want someone like let's say Angela Bassett or Felicia Rashad or I was gonna say Madonna or Michelle Obama, right? You look at them as like a high you put them on a very high pedestal, right?
Yeah, I guess.
But they say they want a woman like that, but they end up fucking with someone that you would say is a whore or that
A
has
city
whore
girl.
tendencies. Someone
A
like,
city girl.
thank you, like a city girl.
Oh, you mean a simp? Okay.
No.
no.
Not a fucking city.
No.
Hold
Yo,
on.
I
Dion.
Okay,
Dion, I'm gonna need you to listen.
can I try to explain it?
You probably yes.
All right. And I know Dion's going to tell me to fuck off if I still don't make any sense, but just bear with me. Basically, basically, a lot of guys are saying that they want a high standard type of woman,
Yeah.
right? The one that's not a whore, a high body count, has her education, and actually makes her own money. But what they go for is a lesser woman that is either a prostitute without getting paid. I guess you call that whatever. Or they
Yeah.
go for the girl that is basically community pussy. I don't know how else to put it. But they'll take her over someone that they actually want, which is the higher standard. And that's a complex because they continuously do it. It's not like they go for the lower standard and go up. They constantly go for that. Or they'll get with the standard and cheat with the same prostitute, low level bitch.
Wow.
It is. Now, they're not simps because they take and take and take. They don't give back.
I guess.
In other words, they want one thing, but they get the other. So
Sounds stupid to me.
No, it's not stupid because people do it all the time. It's like you ever seen like relationships?
Yeah, people do it all the time, and people are stupid.
I don't think it's based off of stupidity. I just think it's based off of, if anything, because men, since we really don't get emotional during sex, it's more or less we just want to fuck just to fuck, or we see a girl, even though we're in a committed relationship, we just kind of look at women as just like, I just want to fuck that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't count for guys that, go on the whim, but they still keep their loyalty to the woman. They're still providing for them. It's more like what Ray said. Like they constantly go for low level bitches and they never go up, or they don't even stay loyal to the one that has been through them through thick and thin. Dion, please get it. Please say you get
it. I feel like I hurt Dion's brain.
I feel like Dion hurt Dion's brain.
It's like I'm trying to process this. I really am, and it's just not happening.
And I know why, and it starts with the letter W.
It actually, okay, I'm not going to deny that, but it's just it's just one of the most illogical things I've ever goddamn heard.
Yeah, because you're trying to put logic into it. Don't put logic into it. This is a condition, like you said.
It's I get it's one of those, you know how to say a motherfucker who's just like addicted to the drama. That's kind of what that sounds like to me.
That gift. That gift.
I mean, am I wrong?
Well, that's the point of me trying to dive deep into that. And also, my bad, Father. I forgot we were supposed to get into the Danica Marie shit. Do you still want to talk about that?
Who?
No, we can say that for later.
Wait.
Okay,
who?
We'll say that. The video, the thing he posted earlier for the Twitter, in the chat.
Oh, hold up. Cause I wasn't sure of her name.
Did I pronounce it right, Crystal? Danica Marie?
Oh yeah. Like she's been around for a long time.
Oh wait, no, Father posted that. I didn't post that.
Yes,
I said Father posted it.
Oh. I thought you said part of what you like cut out briefly, so I thought you said I put that up.
No.
Like
No.
you on my end, you cut out part way into what you were saying. I misunderstood you.
Did it cut out when I said that I posted it?
I didn't I didn't hear you at all.
Damn.
Dion ain't listening.
Damn.
Oh man. Any, anyway, the reason why I say that is because because of women like Danica Marie, even though I think she's married, but like um the Danica Marie, the Melanie Kings, and I think women that are you can see that are good for men, but you don't see those men actually pursue women like that. And I know a lot of people say it's a needle in a haystack, but I don't really think it's that much of a needle in a haystack. I just think they just like just don't want them. I think because sometimes I think we are two sides of the same coin. Like the way we say like women want a future with Russell Wilson's morals or some shit like that. Like I think we want. I think some men want good girls with city girl potential or some shit like that. So I wanted to get a little bit deeper into that. So I think that would be interesting. So, but on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and end the podcast. I would like to thank the panel for jumping on once again. I'd like to thank all y'all for listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is what. Let me just say podcast, and we're signing out. Peace.
Cheers.
Good night.